but they often forget you can also not like someone and realize they're really good for the show.
Right.
I do
like
think.
Lisa. All right, welcome to Overanalyze with Dom and Kyla.
That's me and her.
Yes, today we're talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Season 6, episode
11. I thought you were going to do it at the same time.
I was trying to get you not to do that. Great episode.
Great episode, but we can't start talking about it because I have a very important question for you.
What? Oh, gosh. I know what you're going to say.
It's very important. I want you to really think about it.
Okay. There's so much stuff.
I know. There's a lot, but I need to know if...
What? Just
out of
say
all the things that came up in this episode, or even the whole series so far, are you surprised to hear that Lisa Barlow is a Kendrick girl?
Yes. I was dumbfounded when she said that, and I was just like...
You think she's telling the truth?
No.
I want to see her playlist and her history. I want her to screenshot it to prove it.
You know, earlier this year, because I used YouTube Music, and it was like, you're in the top 0.5% of people because of how often I was listening. They were like, you are in a top consumer. And I was like, yeah, I watched his Super Bowl performance literally every day for months. And sometimes I would watch it twice a day, like 3 times. It's so good.
What do you think my top are? I use Apple Music. I did not know people use YouTube Music. So that's
I don't even
news
have
to me.
Apple Music.
What do you think my top artist is I listen to?
Lady Gaga.
Yep.
For real? You know what? I almost said Demi Lovato just because I know her concert is next year, and so I feel like you've probably been like binging and like listening to a bunch of it.
Love that. Yeah, I wasn't expecting her to say that, and I think it's really funny too. Imagining her listening to anything by him that's not maybe main. It clearly has to be like radio play.
But also I don't think that she was listening to him in context to when they asked. I think that maybe she had heard it on the radio that day.
Like, I know a name.
There's a commercial. Something caught her eye and stuck in her mind. I cannot see her listening to him. Maybe something super, super, super commercial.
I was going to say it had to be probably super commercial.
Like his song with Rihanna 7 years ago. She's not listening to King Kunta. She's not listening to Euphoria. In 95. For
the reunion, I'm going to submit a question, and I'm like, Lisa Barlow, can you name one Kendrick Lamar song?
Can you name his full name? Because on his prior album, How to Pimp a Butterfly, they're literally songs titled by him and his father. Like, they're his first, middle, and last name. She's going to be like, what's that? No, she is.
I believe you.
Like, I believe that. Although,
she's not a hip hop
He's a
girl.
Storyteller.
And he's deep.
I don't know if that means...
She ain't.
She can spin some stories, though.
Spin, like lie.
I know. All right. So, no, I was not expecting that. I remember I was watching the episode. To be honest, I was doing something else. I was folding clothes. I was cooking or something. And I just hear Mary go, not Kendrick. And I was like, wait. Because maybe
funny.
if I
Her reaction was the funniest part.
Because maybe if I thought I heard her say Kendrick and then Mary's reaction, I was like, wait, let me circle back.
Well, that tells me that Mary's a fan.
Mary's a fan, but I think that makes sense because she has a 19-year-old son. So even if she's not listening for herself, maybe she's like heard it around the house or something. Yeah, I could see Whitney listening to Kendrick Lamar,
I can too. I can see Heather. Heather's kind of,
Yeah.
Maybe Bronwyn, because she's very
maybe because her daughter, maybe.
She seems really pretty cool. I could see it. But,
I don't know. I could definitely see Whitney.
Now I want to see everyone's playlist.
I could see Whitney being at the show.
Most streamed songs. I could definitely see.
I could see Andy asking them that. And I've never even seen her.
I'm going to submit that question.
Let me see it. Now, wait. As a season Bravo cast member, would she then start listening because she knows people are going to ask her about it?
If she's smart, maybe. I would. If I was lying and I just said that, I better go like, let me go look at Apple Music. Let me see what his album. You better have something to pull.
You see how stressful it is to lie? Just tell the truth.
Exactly.
Just tell the truth.
Come on. Preach.
But speaking of, this episode was all about lies and confronting people.
It really is.
That's going to actually be the title.
It really is.
Truth telling and confrontation.
It really is. Because, so we start with, the episode opens with, so everyone's gathered for lunch.
After church.
Mary
still looks stunning.
Stunning. Would you love if you went to a lunch and there was like presents or like a
gifts for you? Yeah.
And it was a beta fish and I was like,
I want a fish tank.
But it was like they would look like these glass bolts. I was like,
I thought it was just like a setting, like a place.
So did I. I was like, I wasn't sure she was kidding, but I don't think she was. But I'm like, how do you sit around going, okay, I need to get everyone a gift? Betta fish.
I don't think she was kidding, and I think in the further episodes they're going to show us clips of their fish randomly sitting somewhere, or they're going to be like, we've never seen Meredith's fish or something, or she left it there.
It's like dead or something.
Well, somebody says those fish like
they fight each other. Betta fish, you can't put them in the same tank. They have to be separated because they fight. And then I also loved when Meredith and Lisa walked in, and Angie was like, "Oh, Mary, your guests are here." I'm like, you are killing me.
I was like, she's so MVP. And I think it was Brahman or someone that says, "Not your guest."
Yes. Mm-hmm. I loved it. But this episode, so it opens with the cast is seated for lunch for the Sunday social luncheon. And we really get quickly into it. I mean, it started off kind of quiet for a moment because Mary starts, she says, why Britani wasn't there.
But first, she says, did you guys notice someone wasn't here? Yeah. And I thought she was going to talk about her son. So I was actually really surprised when I was like, wait, what? That's what I was expecting.
It would be kind of weird though if her son was randomly with a lunch though.
No, I wasn't thinking about lunch. I was just thinking about like the service.
Oh, why he wasn't there
from the service. I wasn't thinking about lunch. That. Yeah. But then I was like, well, Kyla, you haven't seen the other episodes. Does she talk about her son openly with all of them?
No. Confides very limited. Okay. I really think it's just to Angie, actually.
Okay. Well, I think because the last episode was so, at least with the church environment, was so heavy with like, my son, look, let's go look at the remodel. Let's go look. Okay, I can't wait. And then he wasn't there for the service. Mm-hmm. That was where I thought she was going. And she said, Britani? And I was like,
I know.
Would she have ever been invited? But Mary is a class act.
Yeah. I love that she called her. I was going to say, I love that she called her. It was honest with her.
She was like, I told her, do not come. I was like...
But then I loved, because they're talking, and they showed that flashback, which I'm really surprised they didn't air that originally when it happened in real time, of them going at it, I guess, on the yacht, and Britani saying she's the most ungodly or Christ-like woman ever. And, listen, whatever, but if you're going to throw insults, you can call me names, you can call me this and that, but that's probably the one thing that would probably, like, hurt her heart, because she's very religious. Yeah, exactly. But I love how, like, even within that,
I mean, but it will cross over to anything. You tell me I'm a shitty parent. Hey, you want to come to this play date?
Yeah.
No, you're a shitty parent.
Yeah.
So, I get why for that context.
Stings
no, I'm not inviting you to my church.
But even with that conversation, like Britani apologized. Like, I could see that she apologized to her. Yeah. And what I thought was so funny, they showed that flashback of that conversation. She looks at her dog. She's like, should I have invited her? And she's like, what did she say? Like, give me a paw. Yeah. She's like, well, then give me a paw. But, But then it leads to her saying, and I'm paraphrasing, but she was like, well, if me and Britani can do that, then we can all like figure this out.
Yes.
And I guess I don't know if I felt resolution after that lunch, because it got really heated in many different directions, but Heather really like kind of opened that conversation up of like, well, hold on here. And she goes after Lisa. And then Meredith, and then Lisa and Meredith, who are the Bobbsey twins, always, because God forbid. Though Lisa did kind of went against Meredith.
But I think she just...
like 3%, not like a lot, but she did kind of was like, well, actually, Meredith, you did say, like, pick a side here. So
I think she kind of was just, like, trying to distract from herself. Because...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That lunch, they showed us a lot of that. I feel like maybe the first half of the whole episode was that. Because Bronwyn, I was disappointed in Bronwyn.
Yeah, I was really shocked about that. And clearly so was Whitney, because she was not happy. But even before that, though, this is what I'm talking about Lisa Barlow. It really pisses me off. She doesn't take no accountability for anything. And even when Heather was confronting her, she literally, like, I don't know why I'm like, you probably, let's be clear, you probably did antagonize her just as much, or maybe not as loud. I totally believe she was antagonizing her on that plane. That makes me feel sad for her.
And I believe Whitney, where she says it would kind of die down and then it would ramp back up.
Yeah,
and it would die
that
down.
Makes sense.
Because I can see her being like, don't forget she said that too. And don't forget she said that too.
And I believe that. And I think it was like Mary, I can't remember who, I think a few different ladies kept saying that. Like, we're all saying the same story and you all aren't.
I'm watching. And I'm like, okay, Bronwyn wasn't on the flight. So she's just quiet. Yeah. And then you decide to join. Well, when I talked about it with Whitney, we decided this.
And then she told Meredith about that conversation.
That is such a Lisa thing to do. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You are literally an observer because you were not on the plane. And we're not even talking about what you think. We are talking about what we saw.
Right.
Why? And she even says it towards the end where she's like, and now I've burned my relationship with Whitney trying to defend you. And you really didn't accomplish anything.
She should have stayed out of it. Like, you know what? You talk to Whitney, confides in you. You're friends with Whitney. It doesn't really seem like you're friends with Meredith. And if you are, not as much as Whitney. So what was the point of that?
Nothing was gained.
I can understand maybe you hearing all this information from Whitney and then you going to Meredith, like, so what happened on this flight? And you should have left it at that, like, just let her speak her piece, and then you just kind of formulate an opinion, and maybe that's when you would voice it is with other ladies, but I did not like that.
I mean, the flight was such a big deal that we've now been talking about it for 3 episodes?
Yeah.
And I think it was just a slip, and she just was like, well, let me throw in my 2 cents.
What I do like is, so what Whitney was saying, like, this song went on for 5 hours, and Meredith is still like, no, it did not. And then she's like, I watched 2 movies and then took a nap. And I love Heather's like, what did you watch? She's like, I watched Crazy Rich Asians and something else. This was kind of comical to me, because then Heather's like, well, what happened at the end?
Because it was so...
And she's like, I don't remember. She's like, it's a big ending. What happened? And Lisa kind of remembered.
And thankfully they went through it, because I was, first of all...
That was hilarious, yeah.
Excellent movie. Heartbreaker, because there's 3 books. And 2020 happened, and I don't think they're going to ever finish or film the other 2 books.
Yeah.
Such a great storyline, but the ending is literally on an airplane.
Yeah. In that moment, Meredith definitely told on herself.
Girl, you're a liar, and that's okay. And it's okay. Or, guess what? You can watch a movie and still bully someone.
Oh, yeah.
Who cares? You were watching a movie.
And you know what? I'm sure it was playing.
Right.
And I also, like, Angie said at one point, she's like, Meredith, I heard you from 5 rows ahead.
I had to run to my TV, rewind it, and rewatch, because they showed a flashback of, I forget what she said, Despicable and Nasty or something. And I was like, oh my God, there's footage. And then it was like, it said a year ago. And I was like, so she was using her words. But I was like, oh, it's an airplane. But they were on like a bus or RV.
I've listened to a few different other recaps and other podcasts about this whole thing. And it seems like, I was listening to one, she's a former housewife, so she kind of understands how some of this works. And she does believe that there's footage that exists, and they're saving it for the reunion. She said that would be very housewifey. I do believe at this point, I don't think any of the women recorded. I do believe that a producer must have, at the bare minimum, a phone, even more bare minimum, audio.
So how does that work? If you're a producer, let's say you're sitting... The only thing I can relate it to is The Amazing Race. They always have to save a seat for the guy with the camera to be there. You're a producer. You're technically off.
Yeah.
Are you texting your producer, hey, can I record this with my phone? Do you have a Bravo phone that you can use?
I'm assuming, I don't know if there's anything official other than just their own personal cell phone. Like, okay. And I don't know how that works. I don't know if there's any legality. It almost seems as if you're on a show, we're filming this period of time, so anything is game kind of a thing. Almost like when you work at a job and you're a non-exempt employee and you clock out. You're, nope, I'm clocked out. I don't work. I don't know if there's anything an equivalent. This is not like a new nuance thing. There's been cameras went down, but there's like security foot. Like they have brought that kind of things up. So if they recorded on their own, I can only imagine that they would have no issue using it for some sort of content. I do believe / hope that we'll see it at the reunion. Something. I don't care if it's 10 seconds. I want to see a little glimpse of something. And I was watching this and I'm really like #overanalyzing it. Meredith's energy is very odd, and I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist, mental health professional, nothing. Okay. But her actions at this luncheon specifically, where she's like really denying nothing until like that almost last piece. It's a backhanded apology. It's like, well, I'm basically like, I'm sorry that she feels that way kind of a thing. It's almost like I'm starting to see like, okay, she knows that hypothetically, I bet you someone did film this. Like she almost like she kind of knows. And that's why now you even see throughout the episode a little bit when she meets up with Britani by the end, it almost like something's clicking for like,
that's right.
This ain't working. I cannot squash this. I don't know, because that also seems very amateur in a way too. It's like, if you know something exists, again, we don't know still, but if there's something that there is footage that does exist, you should just own it from the very beginning and then whatever. But I also kind of believe what they're saying, like what Winnie's kind of alluding to, like, and Mary, like, if you really don't remember, then there's a bigger problem here.
I have more of a feeling that she really doesn't remember.
You don't think? I'm wondering
really
too.
And I think the only reason that that's kind of being clouded is because Britani was so rude in the way she said has seizures and doesn't know what she's doing. So we don't want it to be that. But I do believe her anger gets her to a place where she does not know what she's doing. Because I don't look at her and see unreasonable person. It pains me because I really just want her to say, We left the yacht. I called my husband. He did tell me the TikTok was real, and I got wasted on the plane. Like, I'm still like, we're missing the whole thing though, because we never got, where'd that come from? Like, I still want to know, like, what's the cause of it all?
I guess I didn't think about this piece too, and I'm really thinking about it as we're talking, because Heather's going really hard for this. Because she's really spearheading this, and at first I'm thinking she's just being a defensive friend to Brittany. And now I'm thinking about it, and like I said, I'm listening to you speak, and I guess this kind of like went over my head a little bit. When I talk about like, if there's footage, it's almost as if Heather knows for a fact. And I don't know if you remember telling you this, and it wasn't in relation to this, I don't believe, it wasn't. Heather was on Watch What Happens Live, and they were asking about Lisa, about the leaks for stuff, and how she's, again, this is
the plug for everything.
And Heather's going hard about that too. And she said, I do have proof that she is a leak for all these things. Oh, wow. And everyone's like, oh. So that makes me wonder, okay, Heather seems very confident of going after Meredith. Like, you did this. Not only were we all there, but you certainly did this. It makes me wonder, did she at least know that there is proof of this, that there's footage of it somewhere, or like there's some sort of proof, maybe not from her personally, that she knows, like a producer or whatever, or fucking customer on the airplane has something in that. Who knows? Because someone must have it. And so she is going hard. It's almost like Heather knows there is an insurance policy to back this stuff up. You know what I mean?
And to take it a step even further, because we don't find out this until the lunch, where somebody mentions you were drinking a lot at the lounge before the plane. So maybe she's drinking on the way to the airplane. Maybe she's... So there's probably something where she knows there was a lot of stuff happening. Is this naive of me to say that this is real time for them? This is not November 2025. Damn. If my husband is cheating and leaves, I want to keep my job on the show. So let me wrap this up. Is there, because you do know there's still cameras. You know that this isn't just you and me recording right here. You know that you're like, I am on this show. Is there any part of that? Or is that, I know you've said before they're not that calculating, but
they certainly can be.
She went 160 degrees. Absolutely not. Leave me alone. There's no way to, okay, well, I'm kind of tired of talking about this. And I'm like, it's not just over just that quick, just because you say it is. But then she wraps it up, this entire episode of her and other people trying to wrap this thing up. And it's like, why are we rushing to get
She has a pattern. What bothers me about Meredith, and I've always felt this way, she really knows how to deflect, but also, like, for being on a reality show, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know if there's any truth. Again, this has come out before, like, Meredith fucked everyone in New York. I was kind of, like... half funny, half like, okay, like Seth, they are very honest. I think it was season 1 or 2, I can't remember. The relationship almost came to an end. I would hope that people that have watched in season 1, they're not looking at this like, what? Like, their relationship has always come and go, a conversation of mystery to some extent. I think if she honestly cared about her spot on the show, I'm not saying this is right, wrong, or anything in between. I would say you're very closer to be guaranteed a spot on the show if you were honest about, like, Seth's fucking around on me and this is really hurting me. Because then there's more, let's see how that unfolds. Let's see more of that journey for you, even if it's just you specifically. Her shutting this down, to me, I just keep saying guilt. Like, there's guilty. Guilt and deflect. Guilt and deflect. And that is so annoying to me. And that's kind of her song and dance. But to your point, too, when Bronwyn said she talked to Whitney about the drinking in the club lounge or whatever at the airport, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And I remember Whitney saying, it's either that, you have a prescription pill problem, or a combination of the both. Like, kind of believe there might be there's something there.
Which felt a little shady. But then later on, when she has her own solo confessional, when she has her confessional and she's like, this reminds me of my father.
Oh, yes.
She's he had substance abuse and he would have. And so it's kind of like, I'm not just saying, hey, you're being a bitch. I bet it's alcohol. I'm saying I have seen this multiple times.
Like, almost
and
concerned.
The next day, they pretty much wake up and they're like, what happened? Oh, I don't remember.
When she said all that, and there was not a part of me that thought, okay, you're trying to intentionally be messy. I think she was pushed a little bit because Meredith is, like, now pissed at her for simply talking to her friend and saying, that is not, like, an unlikely conversation to have. Like, okay, if one of our friends was having a fucking psychotic break, what seemed like on an airplane, and I tell my friend who was not there, like, girl, I think so-and-so is on something. Something does not seem right here. That is a natural conversation. Is it lovey-dovey? No. Someone who potentially is guilty would have that reaction to being so defensive.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. People are talking about you all day, any day.
Yeah, especially on this
So for
show.
you to think that your friends are not is really,
naive.
really, really, really silly. And then also, Meredith finally says what we said a couple episodes ago, where she's like, the person that I'm closest to know that you're talking about me, that's why it hurts. That was why she kind of jumped over Britani being the one to bring it up and went straight for Whitney. Like, is this true? Is blah, 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 blah. I think I'm just so confused because this is episode 11. The first 8 episodes, Meredith is an observer. She's there. And then all of a sudden I'm like, so no wonder you and Lisa are friends, because you two are actually very, very similar. You two get together, have a glass of wine, and say, can you believe the world is out to attack us? And I've only seen that from Lisa. And I'm like, clearly you and Meredith both do that. You both are like, all this stuff is happening to me. And I'm just like, maybe I preferred it when you were quiet. That's the one reason why I feel like she might leave. If I'm telling you you did something crazy and you're telling me nothing crazy happened.
Right, exactly.
I'm over the lack of alignment, because there's...
Right, because that's almost not even enjoyable. It's like, you're clearly looking guilty to some extent. And maybe that's unfortunate that that's a natural human behavior / instinct with someone's like riding that hard line of, I didn't do anything. And hypothetically, if I truly was I've had moments where I've acted crazy in my like 20s, and it's because I was so drunk. And also, I'll tell you what the other part, and I don't know if there's something underlying here, I was severely depressed, and it's almost like you do black out. And if I don't remember, I've never denied anything. I said that I'm really sorry for my actions. Yeah. And if that really did happen, and you're telling me that it is, then I'm really sorry. And the story, like, how, if I can't remember, there's no defense for me. And to play devil's advocate. Yeah. If she is struggling to maybe accept something, I don't know. If you do truly believe that, that's a horrible feeling. Like, okay, well, if you really do feel like you've done nothing wrong.
That's beyond this conversation. Yeah. There needs to be multiple levels.
Yeah. Well, Britani did say on a podcast, she's like, that's why, and I know this now because a podcast recently. Okay. And she did say, she's like, the reason why I didn't do anything, blah, 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 is because it was really the last, like, I think she said the last 30 minutes of the flight. So it was probably, yeah, I agree with the ladies. It was probably like in and out throughout the plane, but it's more like, this fucking bitch, blah, blah, blah. Like how my tone is right now, not yelling. Britani could probably hear it going off and on, like, this really hurts my feelings. She's clearly a sensitive gal. And then I probably believe like the last 30 minutes when they're in the, like Utah airspace, she probably was like, then that's probably when it got like more elevated. I could see that.
You know what is entertaining though?
What?
And I hate to admit it. Lisa lying.
I was just going to say, how do you not know you have global entry? I was also kind of confused of that. It's like, okay, so she was trying to avoid what? And Whitney is so funny. She's like, it's not like it's printed on your TSA pre-check. It's like, you just know.
For all the time she says, I'm not like you other girls. I'm busy. I'm here and I'm there.
You would brag about that shit. Like, of course I have global entry. I can get anywhere that I want.
So, quick segue.
That is so funny.
Bronwyn, much later, being born in Brazil.
I know, I have that written down.
I was like,
she's not a citizen.
And her parents are from the UK, the United Kingdom. And so I was just like, where did that come from? I mean,
multifaceted, apparently.
I wonder if that's why the case was sealed, because she's not
that's
even.
A good point.
Like, there was so much stuff I was like, oh.
But she said she was a dual. So where is she a dual citizen?
Maybe
she was working
UK
on citizenship.
Britain.
Must be,
or Brazil.
Because she was the whole point of that conversation was like she's not a U.S. citizen yet.
Yeah.
So I'm like, where do you have dual citizen? Because you didn't clarify. Like, okay, Brazil, because you were born there.
She said it, and I was like, please don't say that again. Because no, Lisa would be like, I'm calling ICE. Somebody will use that to weaponize her. And I was like, and I'm sure Andy will probably mention at the thing. So you're a citizen now. I'm sure that will be, with everything happening in the world, I'm sure that will be a theme of it. So you're good here? Are you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that will, because Lisa feels like a Karen. I think she definitely
and do those irrational, like if she's pissed off with someone.
Yeah.
So then there's the scene with Britani and her daughter. Were you
Britani
expecting
and her daughter?
That?
Oh my God, with therapy.
Yeah. Were you expecting that? I was not.
No. So her daughter comes out and I was like, they're showing her again. She's by herself. I was like, yes, Britani is good.
And also, I'm going to tell you something about Friends of.
Yeah.
Because remember, my prediction is, and this is only validating a prediction, I do believe I'm more and more really believing that they're going to bring Britani back full time, and she's going to hold the snowflake, because friends of, they don't typically get this.
Okay.
But we're seeing like you and just your daughter
and
going
now
to therapy.
because now we get your therapist.
So like it is very. I'm more and more starting to believe like, okay, they're going to promote her to full time and not just as a friend of. But like I was not expecting
so good.
this.
So I saw them and they're like, "Oh, good to see you," and I was like, "Great." They're having lunch, and then the therapist came out, and I was like, oh.
I knew, I could tell, I'm like, this is a therapist.
I was like, Dom is going to be so proud.
I was, you know what? I did enjoy this scene.
I
really did.
Not every episode, but we frequently say, life can be complex and complicated, and please seek external help and or therapy and or counseling if you need it. And especially when you involve other people like your children.
Yeah.
And the scenes we saw from therapy were so important.
They really were. And I continue to love how her daughter is very vulnerable.
She's very mature.
Very mature. We did skip a whole bunch of stuff, but that's fine.
did. We'll go back.
It's fine. Because I did want to talk about this, because it's not a, happy-go-lucky subject. But I think it's very important to not just her, but to people for us to see that, who give her a really hard time of how she is as a parent. And I think it's really important because we've kind of talked about her, like how does a mother do that? And her daughter did make a point to say, like, everything changed when she divorced my dad.
And then I had step siblings.
Yeah.
And she was a parent to them. And so you're like, yeah, new family. She probably thought, didn't I raise y'all? Mm-hmm. The thing that broke me, and I actually shed a tear. Mm-hmm. Britani was like, I don't need to get anything out of this as long as my daughter does. Yeah. And the therapist was like, no, it's both of you. And I was like, I think she probably thought she was being selfless when she was like, no, here you guys are. You're fine. Now I'm going to go on. I think she probably thought she was being selfless to be like, I'm here counseling because my daughter probably asked me or because my daughter knows we need it. Yeah. I don't need anything. It's for her. And the therapist is like, well, what about you? And I was like, oh my gosh, Britani, yes. Because I don't think there are very many people, aside from Heather, who even ask her, what do you need? Sure. How are you? How can we help? How can we lend a hand?
Totally agree
and
with
I
that.
just was like,
I totally agree with that.
That was so good.
But what I really, like, what got me was not only that, but, and she's crying a bit and she's getting teared up and she's like, she just felt like she has no worth. And I was like, that to me, because I feel like I've said some version of that. I'm like, I think she has some sort of trauma. And I don't know much, and I still don't know what her first marriage, her children's father. I don't know what that looked like why they got divorced. But clearly it had some sort of effect on her personally. Even though I think it sounds like she filed for divorce. I don't know if that's 100% true. But to see her say, because that statement, that resonates with me, because I know that feeling. And when you feel that way, you're looking for that validation, especially if it has to do with love and feeling loved and validated. Like, see, I am worthy of someone loving me.
Which is why you would go and take care of your new husband's children so that he stays loving you.
Exactly. And not that I'm saying...
None of it has to be right or wrong.
Exactly. But it's merely understanding the psychological journey of not excusing the behavior of her biological children. But if you're just like, okay, I feel worthless. I feel like, no, why would anyone love me? You find a man, he got kids. Of course I have to give him everything and his kids, because it is showing in her mind.
So he'll keep me valuable and worthy.
And also, when you really think about it, and again, I'm over analyzing this too. That old adage of okay, you fight with the ones that love you the hardest, because your family.
Because you care.
In theory, they should always be there for you, and because you care.
Yeah.
If you do feel worthless and you feel like you have very low self-esteem, you don't feel like you're loved or deserving of love, you got a man. There's something in my brain that I could see recognizing that. I can see that tracking if you feel that way of, I have kids, they're biologically mine, I'll always have them, they'll always love me, in theory, right? So I have to work this hard to earn the love, but also because it's also validating again. Another layer of not feeling worthy. Of course, it'll validate if I can get them to love me. See, I am worthy.
But you know what's ironic and something that people do all the time and they don't think about? People will put their job over their family and their kids. Well, what do you mean? I had to work to feed you.
Yeah.
You didn't have to work that hard. Or you didn't have to give all of your time. But you're working so hard, now you're so exhausted, you're not even spending time with us. Yeah. But I did it for you. But do you see how I didn't want it? Right? So it's a lot less drastic than I chose the man over you. Totally. But people literally do that.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
The time.
Yeah.
And your child is not going to say, oh, I'm 19 now, let's be friends.
Mm-hmm.
If I haven't been talking to you and had a good relationship with you,
Mm-hmm.
why would I all of a sudden be like, wow?
Yeah.
And to the same point from the parent side,
Yeah.
you can't try to be close to somebody just because they're grown now.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Totally. When you really think about it, you look at your parents. Like, I think about my parents, for instance. I have a great relationship with them, blah, blah, blah. I can't relate to it because it's not my life, but trying to step into it a little bit of like what this could feel like. If my trust was broken, I'm not feeling loved by my parents, I truly don't know. How would I ever expect anyone else to give me love and for me to trust that they'll take care of me in some sort of way, emotionally or whatever? Yeah. Like, that must be a journey. And what broke my heart too was Britani also owning the fact, like, wow, if I just made a few different decisions,
I know,
I would not be responsible.
It was so good.
That is like,
it was so good.
Girl, that is some deep shit. Like, my decisions have created this insecurity in my child, and like, how do I forgive myself for that? And she even said that she's like, I don't feel like I deserve it, almost, and that breaks my heart. And I'm sure, like, I'm not a parent, you are. So I can only imagine, and that's why I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not a parent, because I don't want to be responsible for my actions having every effect of shaping my child's personality in life.
But the thing is, everything you do impacts somebody, right?
True.
Because even the stepchildren are probably somewhere like, who knows what that story was with their first parent. Now they're like, but we got this other mom, and it's always gonna be strangers that take care of us. Like,
what if she still talks?
Everything impacts something. But the thing that also got me was the daughter. Her name was Olivia. And she goes, I always choose people. I expect them to leave, or I don't expect them to love me. Yes. And Britani's like, me too. It was a great session.
It really was. Yeah.
Joint counseling can be very difficult.
Totally, yeah.
Can you imagine Meredith in counseling? Because she's going to be like, well, I don't understand why that happened. Right? She would just be like, what do you mean?
No ownership of anything. Yeah.
But, she actually probably wouldn't show up to show how blocked she probably would be. I bet if John asked Lisa, do you want to go to counseling?
You know what?
Like,
I will give Meredith.
Go to church.
I would give Meredith the benefit of the doubt compared to Lisa Barlow.
Okay.
I can see Meredith at least trying.
For her kid, even?
Or showing up for anyone.
Okay.
I don't think Lisa would ever show up. But you saw it with her husband. He's talking and he's telling you how you don't pay attention and you're still not paying attention.
I know.
So I can't see it. But that really broke my heart.
It did, but I love to see them in therapy because that is...
Because she's trying.
She's trying.
And that's all we can ask, I suppose, when you have adult children.
But also, like, therapy is maintenance for life because there's always going to be something different.
Totally.
I've never been alive today. There's always going to be stuff. And I like, you're admitting that you don't have all the answers, and there's so much strength in that. There's so much strength in it. And yay for you getting all these little nods. So if they are trying to push Britani to be on the show, would they typically record these things and then maybe not use them? Or are they recording these and she's like, oh, you guys are involved in my story? Like, what are you thinking if you're Britani?
I was Britani. If you're filming me outside of the group, like, this is personal. Because remember, if you're a friend of, that's a role. You are a B character. You're like the best friend. You know what I mean? So when you think about, like, when you watch like a comedy movie, a romantic comedy, the friend of, we're not ever seeing that person's life journey. When you really think of every romantic comedy, the best friend in the show, they have a pivotal role in many regards, right? But you don't see them going home. You don't see them alone in their home.
That's Stanford with Carrie, but we don't see Stanford at his house.
We don't
or with
see
his mom
anything that's solely focused just on them.
Yeah.
So and that is a friend of the show, and that is your contracted role.
Okay.
And if it does happen, it's very few and far between. The only exception I'll say to that is the Real Housewives of Miami. Their friends are treated just like housewives. That's very interesting. But that is an outlier.
Okay.
Outside of that, if I'm Britani Bateman and they're telling me, okay, cameras are coming with me to my thing, I probably would be thinking okay, I could see her connecting the dots. Hopefully that's not why she's doing it.
Yeah.
But I could see her, like, if she's formulating like planning her life, I suppose.
Yeah.
I could see that, because if she comes full time, then that's more of a commitment.
And they recorded her and Jared last week.
Yeah, just those two. That's actually another example.
Yeah, so we're getting
a lot of Britani's personal storyline, and that's the big, differentiator of the two. I did not say that word correctly. I know you all know what I meant.
Yes.
When you're a friend of, we don't have personal storyline, meaning of you and your life, other than what it is to deal with a group of friends that are full-time, like our main cast. If it's outside, we're not seeing that. So if I'm her, I'm thinking they're investing in me. I'll put it that way.
Wow, I love
and that's exactly what it is. And I kind of, if she stays on this journey, like she doesn't disappoint us in any kind of way, I really hope that she gets it that next year, because I would love to see her full time. Because then that opens the door of learning more about her life. We'll get more of a layered version of who Britani actually is. Yeah. And I hope that for her. And she's getting all these opportunities now.
Her other children.
Yeah. Why was there a divorce? Who is the stepchildren? Like, it opens the door to possibilities of learning a little more of a color palette of who Britani Bateman is. And I'm telling you, I'm a fan.
So is that something that Housewives fans enjoy? Like getting a new person every couple seasons, or...
Yeah, I mean...
I feel like Atlanta stayed the same for a long time.
The thing is, Bravo, and this is a big conversation right now with certain shows, because like Orange County right now, it's getting really ugly. And they brought back someone as a friend of that was on the show like 12 years ago. And it was horrible. I can't stand her. Things came out about her being homophobic and all this kind of stuff. And the show is just turning very dark. And... it's just very combative. It's very messy, and I don't like it. And that's a sign of like, okay, some sort of shakeup needs to happen, because this equation's not working. So I mean, in that regard, yeah. But true, like long-term fans love OGs. Okay. We miss them. We don't like New York. They fired the whole cast a few years ago. This has never been done before, where they did a whole new Real Housewives of New York, where it's a whole new cast and
same title, just completely different cast.
A whole new cast. Wow. And fans are not happy. Still to this day, are not happy about it. And Bravo, we love you, Bravo, but they're really still trying to push it on us. And I'm like, us fans are trying to tell you, mix the two, bring back some of the old people with the new girls. But then it's a conversation that oftentimes fans are blaming. I remember they've done this with certain people that have gotten fired from their respective shows. And you hear kind of online like, well, Bravo listened to the fans and really fucked up. At the same time, fans also, we're the ones devote. We kind of know. And I'm not saying
you need our eyes to have your ratings.
And I'm not saying you make every decision based solely on like what fans say, but like you don't. It really drives me insane when they're really hard on fans, because it's like, well, you don't have shows without fans.
Sure. No, sure.
So there should be a role in which the fan bases see and feel like that should take an account for something.
Yeah, no, I believe that.
A slight majority would want Britani to be full-time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she's gaining a huge following.
I mean, I'll take her over Lisa and Meredith. Me too.
I do believe if they made her full-time, one of those has to go, Lisa and Meredith. Or maybe one gets demoted, which I can't see any of them.
Do people ever leave on their own? But Kandi Burress just left Atlanta. I was like, would Angie just leave, or would Mary be like, okay?
Yeah. A lot of people leave on their own, or they did now.
Do they make a thing about it when the season starts, and they're like, "Where's Mary? Where's this?"
No, person? Not really. It's kind of like you just keep moving forward. Depends on like what happened.
So are they contracted for one season?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then after the season ends, it's like when conversations take place, and there's a lot of speculation online, like who's coming back, blah blah blah.
I always have those calls with clients. So, do you want to keep working with me?
It's literally like saying,
and they can say no, or they can be like,
say yay or nay.
Oh, I love that. Someone's gonna call Britani and be like,
I hope. So I have to manifest that. So I would love that for her.
How cool would that be that they bullied her and they made Britani Bateman absolutely lovable, because we got to see all of the other cast members sticking up for her.
Yeah, because here's the thing: a lot of people get so defensive over like keeping certain people because they love them, but they often forget you can also not like someone and realize they're really good for the show.
Right.
I do like think exactly, and that's why, in my opinion, even though she has a pretty like steady fan base, Meredith, I don't find her contributing much to the show anymore like she used to. While Lisa really irritates me, she does bring a huge presence and energy to the show that I think is still valuable. That still makes it interesting and good, though.
And see, I would say the exact opposite, just because it's only entertaining if, well, I was going to say if you know what you're saying. I just think Lisa's a liar. And I just think that's going to get played out quickly.
Yeah.
I feel like at first I thought Meredith was quiet because she was just like reading the room. And now I think she was probably just spaced out in terms of like didn't care. So she just was completely disengaged. Now I feel like she was just disengaged. And so, I don't know.
But that's become too repetitive.
I think there would be enough without Lisa as well. Because she's just...
I'm leaning...
Maybe if she goes to therapy and we get some of her and John.
I honestly, if there is something there with her relationship that's kind of rocky, and I'm not rooting for that by any means. Right. I don't want that to take out of context. Like, I'm just saying, if there really is something there, that could add depth and a possible redemption for her in terms of like, oh my God, like my marriage falling apart. I was treating people this way, and now I see life in this whole different way. Corny, but I could see it, and that adds a redeeming quality to the show. I still think Meredith has got, into my opinion, has dug herself into too much of a hole that I'm like, it's just, for me personally, it's just not interesting to watch. When, to your point, her whole thing in season 1 was, I'm disengaging, like, to become her whole catchphrase, and I'm so. You have disengaged too many times and way too much. That I'm like, you have funny one-liners at least once every season. There's something interesting that you say. I don't find her enjoyable to watch anymore.
That's so funny. You're so disengaged. We don't even want to see you anymore.
I really don't. At least Lisa, again, I don't like liars, and I find that annoying. But it's more she's bringing an energy that's still like.
And even with her business and like selling alcohol as a Mormon. You know why I mentioned that though? So it's November 2025. No. So it's December 2025. And Kandi Burress and Todd Tucker are separating. And the last season of Real Housewives of Atlanta that I watched was season 15. She was pretty snippy. She was working a lot. She was filming for the show Chicago. And I wonder if they were talking about stuff or stuff was really as rocky. They had a couple of conversations where they're just like, you're not here. I'm taking care of all of it myself.
I remember that. You're right.
And I'm like, and she's not on season 16.
No, and she has no desire to come back, it sounds like. I'm still kind of shocked, though, about it. I just didn't... It didn't seem like how she left that off. It did not seem anything irreparable. And even watching her on social media... I get it. Like, it's only snapshots, so it's not like that could tell anything.
But how was she at BravoCon? Because that was
know what? It was. And when she got the Lifetime Achievement Award, that's planned. That's like, whatever.
And that was November 2025.
He wasn't there. And I thought that was kind of telling. But it not enough for me to go, is something wrong? I'm sure maybe other people thought that. I didn't, in the back of my mind, I'm like, that is kind of, I wonder why. I said, I wonder why Todd's not there. So in that regard, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Okay.
And sad.
I know.
Okay. So we did skip over. So Meredith and Lisa did get a manicure. Or pedicure, sorry.
So.
And talk about a bitch fest. My God. Negative Nancy's over there.
Lisa is consistent.
Yes.
Because Lisa was Lisa.
That's also another point for her.
Another point for her. Meredith. So, okay, I was like, cute, girls time.
Nope.
No. I mean, Dom, you and I hang out. We'll dabble in other people's stuff. We mostly talk about what's happening with us.
Yeah.
And I was like, would y'all have anything to discuss if you were not discussing other people or how many people Meredith has slept with, allegedly, on the hot mic? And so... I was so excited. I was like, nail salon.
That's a really. I think I would have enjoyed seeing just be girlfriends.
What if they sat there and discussed their marriages?
Or be vulnerable with each other, maybe.
I thought it was really, really funny. So wait, you've told me before, Meredith is not Mormon.
She's not.
Because
she's
Lisa's
Jewish.
Eldest child is on the mission, the Mormons' mission trip. Because I was like, they could even just discuss their children. Hey, what's so-and-so doing? Hey, Henry's over here or whatever.
Or can you imagine if maybe in that scene, Lisa opened up to Meredith about that scene with John and said, he feels this way. Here's the thing, because that would have turned everything around for me for both of them of like, okay, a moment of vulnerability or depth.
A cutesy way. I went on that trip to get away from John. Oh my gosh, let me tell you about, you know what I mean?
It would have been that easy, actually. Yes. But instead, they came in.
And shame on you producers if that was recorded.
I was going to say, for all we know, they could have been cut. And I'm like, that would have been the vibe. Because look, at least Lisa came in there, to your point. She is consistent. She's like, well, I met with Britani.
Yeah.
And then you can tell in Meredith's face, she's like, oh, really? Or whatever. At the very end of that conversation, she's like, she feels bad for Britani as a human being. And she says she feels bad that she can't hold a relationship or struggles professionally. And I'm like... she's called her a sad specimen.
I feel sorry for her. And you're like, oh, okay, are we getting closer? I feel sorry for her as a person. You're like, oh, shit.
And then
I was like,
and you know what? She could have left it at that. She's like, she can't hold a relationship and she struggles professionally. I'm like, you're a real bitch. Okay. Like, let's be completely honest here. If she was right in front of me, like, you are a fucking guilty bitch. You know that you were not nice to her. on that plane. You were trying so hard to deny it, to somehow deflect the conversation when it's not working because you have all these chicks that saw what you did. You know there's probably footage that someone has, and now you're starting to realize by the end of this episode when you feel like you need to meet her that you're like, we haven't gotten to it because there's another scene we have to talk about before that, but when they meet up,
she was surprised that when Britani apologizes to her, because I think Meredith has built her up as being the villain so big, and I do believe Lisa fanned that fire the whole time.
I do too, and I wonder if she's starting to see, like, if she's being a good housewife, like, this ain't working.
To overanalyze, I think Lisa is the shit starter. What if Lisa has been gaslighting Meredith this whole time to keep her close? She's either a great ass actress or possibly abusing substances, or Lisa is making her believe that things are not what they appear.
What they seem to be.
And we have seen her do that.
Yeah.
And Meredith, we haven't seen her one off with anyone until we see her with Britani at the end. I feel like Lisa is in Meredith's ear, and I would not be surprised if I would not be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. What benefit would Lisa be getting out of that?
Still being the plug and getting all the business.
I guess so.
And maybe that's even where she wants that, like, loyalty from Meredith. Like, do you know all the shit I'm doing?
I'm not saying they're calculated, though you need to be a little bit. I would say this is an easy gameplay. If I'm Lisa Barlow, you should be reading the writing on the wall, girlfriend. And what you should do at this point...
She's not objective enough to read the writing on the wall.
I don't think so either, but if she was smart, she would try to. Again, if all of this is true, or any of it's true, it's time. And she almost dipped her toe in a tiny bit at that lunch. She dipped her toe in.
I was like, she's gonna do it.
And that makes me believe she does know that this really happened. And for whatever reason, and I forgot who brought it up.
Would make her a gaslighter.
Would make her a gaslighter. But she also, I can't remember who said it. I think it was earlier in the season, that those two Bobbsey twins, Lisa and Meredith, have shit on each other. And that's why they keep really protecting each other. Because they speak out against each other enough where it can make one thing. Yeah, but there's that one time when you really think about it. Okay, wow, Meredith didn't really defend Lisa too much on the boat. And Lisa said, oh no, like, you did tell her to pick a side. Heather to pick a side. Wow, big fucking deal. I do think they have shit on each other. What it is, I don't know. But like, she should throw, I'm going to be very brutal. If Lisa wants to be the queen that she is, throw that bitch, Meredith, and I don't mean to call women that, so I should stop doing that. Yeah. You should throw Meredith under the bus and be like, you know what, Meredith, you did do this. I don't like it. You would earn more respect from, I think, the group, though they would have a hard time trusting you. There's your storyline for next season of working towards some sort of trust and building, a foundation with a group in general.
Because, like, Bronwyn and Whitney,
Bronwyn and Whitney, there's a path forward.
Yeah.
And including Britani if she's full-time. And then you have a solid cast, and Meredith can go bye-bye. I don't know. I just think Lisa has more points than Meredith.
Lisa has more points than Meredith, but also it's just so sad. Because, again...
It is.
And I watch a lot of fiction. Unless you literally know where the bodies are buried.
Yeah.
What can be so bad?
I don't know, yeah.
I mean, they're both in their 50s. Okay, you fucked all of New York 15 years ago. How long are you holding that over me?
I often go back to that.
You embezzled money? Well, then that's for the IRS. What could you have really... Your kid's not yours. Yeah. Like, what could it be?
Again, overanalyzing it. You know, I go back to that scene, the hot mic moment. I'm like, hey, I've always believed there's some truth there.
Maybe they, like, swap husbands. It would have to be something current, because the shame weakens over time. So it would have to be something.
Or they're blowing it all out of proportion because it's so old. Like,
what if they are just catty women and we just want there to be a reason? What if they are just
catty?
Would that make it worse?
For Meredith, maybe. I would be shocked to believe that she wants to be on the show at this point. Because you're playing it like, okay, like, do you even enjoy this to some extent? And if not, listen, your husband barely lives here because you go back and forth between, I don't even know fucking where anymore. You rent a new house every year, so she doesn't own property. The only thing she has is a lease. I'm assuming it's a lease to her store in Park City.
Okay. She was in all the BravoCon commercials. She has a following.
She does. So
Her son's on the spinoff
exactly.
show.
So it leads me to believe she could have, I don't know if it's a spinoff, maybe she could appear more in something else, she could be a friend of. I don't know what it is. I don't get the impression that she is as passionate about the show as she maybe once was.
Make her a friend of.
They did
that with Kenya, and I loved Kenya's storyline. I was like, what?
And you know what? She probably could do a lot better because you don't really talk about your fucking life anyways. I don't care about your caviar or your bullshit products
or your silly store. It looked like Dash from 2006.
It does, and I watched someone who went in there and it's like has shitty ceiling and stuff like that. So I don't know what's true about her. I just think there's not much of a path forward if she continues on this. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, I've already written her off because I'm like, I'm not enjoying you.
We have 8 more episodes.
Oh God. Reunion. That's probably gonna be 3-part reunion.
3-part. I thought we were gonna sit down for a 90-minute.
Oh no, it's like 3 parts. And I only watch it on Peacock the day after because it's unedited or uncensored, so you hear them swear. I'm like, I don't ever watch it on TV because I want to hear all the fuck. It's the only time I get to hear them swear uncensored. Yeah, I don't know, but I think they have shit on each other because she said all that. Lisa said all that stuff with Meredith, and then remember, like Lisa has all these lawsuits. Maybe Meredith knows the truth behind all of them. I don't know.
It has to be something current though, because the shame again would pass. I mean. Also, I'm not a liar. And the couple times I have lied, I've had to come out and been like, yeah, I lied.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can't think of too many things that would hurt each other more than the other person who found out, right? Like one of their kids isn't their husband's. But then that's going to hurt the husband more than me. Like, I'm going to tell him that's not your kid. Like,
there is definitely something there. I just don't know what it can be or what. It's
got to be current. Maybe she's like a silent business partner named in the lawsuits or something.
That's what I mean. Maybe it is something dirty, and who knows if we'll ever find out. But if we don't, then I don't want to see really any of them on the show.
Sorry. We say all of this to say their allegiance. feels very watery.
It's
but
more
also
than loyalty.
It's strong, and I know that's why I think someone is like blackmailing someone.
If I did something again, there is some truth to all their bad history, whatever it looks like. And I know my friends would have no problem saying, Don, I love you more than anything, but you were horrible on that plane.
Yeah.
And if I'm a good friend back, I can accept it and not be mad at them and do something about it.
She kind of said that to her.
Ish, when they got to the very end. But
she mostly said it like it was a Britney quote. Britney felt like
and that's
far.
Never, that is not enough.
And the producers have the recording of Lisa meeting with Britney, because did you ever say, hey, I heard you speaking too, right? Did Britney confront her on, no, but I heard your voice.
I will say I'm really proud of Britney because I was so scared that she met with Lisa when they showed that flashback that she was going to be like, okay. She was like, kind of.
She was.
She wasn't backing down. She's like, and it seemed like they more made like, probably like bygones be bygones. Like, we're never going to agree.
How does that work? Who reached out to who? Lisa had to reach out to her?
I think Lisa reached out to her.
Britney, we're invested in your story.
Okay. What did you feel about? We'll talk about it.
I have random notes. I got the marital mattress.
Okay, I did write that down because I'm like, you kept that mattress for 20 years. Are you supposed to throw away mattresses after 8? Is it 8?
After 8. Now that's some. I can't even say rich people stuff.
No, but all that
after
bacteria.
After you've moved a couple times, you should
definitely. You definitely having sex on it.
But her quote where she says, I was a good Mormon. There were no stains.
I know, that was really funny.
I was like,
she's
swallowed?
funny. I also love her funeral looking outfit. Yeah. I'm like, girl.
I love seeing her kids. I haven't seen her children.
Oh, that's right.
We got to see the
and
office.
Her brief Wayfair commercial. Because she does Wayfair commercials.
I remember you told me that, but they were like,
and they show them in the furniture. I'm like,
listen, monetize it all. Yes. But honestly, I saw that and I was like, I think I want a stark white office. Honestly, you would need those windows too.
Yeah, like a lot of windows.
I was like, this is
I do love her with her kids.
Beautiful. That was my first time seeing her kids. I mean, we saw a flashback to them when they talked about parent stuff. Yeah. It was my first time seeing the two of them, so I thought that was really cute. I don't understand the mattress. We just needed a reason for she and Whitney to get together. I'm okay with that.
You see the U-Haul. I'm like, who's moving?
I thought it was another RV. I was like, where are y'all going now?
And I'm like, wow, Whitney can drive that thing. I couldn't. That's too long.
Could she?
Enough for to maneuver. She didn't hit the mailbox. She almost did.
Big ass mailbox.
I would have hit the mailbox. Thought that was funny. She's on her lawn.
They are the cutest cousins.
They really
They're
are.
So That's
another example of this is what Lisa and Meredith could be doing when they were little. They touched on it. They touched on it, but before that, you saw them having fun.
And they were talking about their own
exactly.
Lives
it wasn't so dark like it is with those two. It was it was consumable.
Heather is so like.
I love Heather. I really do. And she was pissing me off in the beginning of the season, and now I'm like back on the Heather train. I'm like, now she's not taking no shit.
Well, she said to someone, I think it was Bronwyn, she was like, you commit to a theme. No, Heather, you have all the themes. Yeah. Because I'm sure she said, Whitney, I'm getting a new mattress. Come over for the funeral. Right. And so that's why they both were dressed like that. And they're so funny.
They are funny.
Because all I want to do is say, hey, producer, put the camera down and move this mattress.
Yeah.
That, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, why are you guys moving mattresses in heels? Mm-hmm. It's just so funny to me.
Because why not?
Well, we're going to see in a couple episodes, they went to lunch after or before or whatever. Like, there's always a reason.
I love that.
I do too.
What about the Bronwyn scene with her mom and her daughter? The bonsai trees.
I like that because I haven't really seen her daughter.
I haven't either. I was like, wow.
We saw them all in the kitchen earlier this season
I feel like
with the boyfriend.
I think there was one scene last year we saw like something, but
she looks like her twin.
I know.
Spit image. And the haircut, I was going to say, doesn't hurt, but.
And her mom was likable in this scene.
Well, this time they introduced her as Muzzy.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that probably lightened them all up because they probably called her
she was like funny. It's just like, okay.
I know. They probably were trying to be really like, all right, we're introducing you to the show. And now they got to just be them. I love that they both want to move.
I know. I was really confused though. When Bronwyn's like, I wish you would get a boyfriend. I'm like, well, she's still married to your dad. Who's still alive.
Yes.
And she even said, she's like, I got a husband. And I'm like, I don't know if she's just trying to be funny in that Bronwyn meaning.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to see the dynamic between them because we've never seen the three of them together.
But there is a lot of transition happening, and I was like, well, if you're going to be an empty nester and kick the husband out too, then you can easily downsize.
That was the one catty thing that the mom said.
Get your alimony.
Wasn't that interesting? A couple of seconds, and something. She's like, "Why are you moving?" She's talking. Bronwyn's talking to her mom, like, "Why are you leaving? Is it Todd? I forget, blah blah blah." And she's like, "Well, he's probably gonna kick you out first, get rid of you first." And she's like, "I wish he would," or something. She said something like that. I'm like,
"But how crazy
this is very telling." I think.
Is it though? This is episode 11. It was like episode 2 or 3 where we're like, "What a bitch," about the mom, and now the mom.
I still think she's kind of.
Her delivery is off.
Yeah.
But the mom lives with them. She sees a lot more of Todd than we did. And now we're just like, yeah, Bronwyn. Actually, you know what? I hope, Bronwyn, you leave on your own.
I did. That's what I hope.
Don't even want any of the closure. You know when to cut people off.
That's what I mean. That's why I'm hoping her mom was kind of being funny in that movie. I don't think she was because she already said these undertones before. Like you can't, he saved you, all this kind of stuff. You would. Whatever.
That's so weird. Perspective is everything. Because a couple episodes ago, we were like, don't talk about her husband. And now we're like,
I know we agree. We don't want her with him. However, I don't want him leaving her. I want her leaving him. Yeah. And the daughter's moving.
And the daughter does not say that she's moving with her boyfriend. So I like that.
I also like that they're like
date and do what you want.
Bronwyn and the mom are crying about like their futures, and the daughter's like, "You all over here bawling your eyes. I'm just trying to do my bonsai tree."
She's like, "I'm 20.
She's like, so much time such to do a vibe." Because the episode ends with Meredith and Britani.
Meredith is in this dominatrix black latex outfit.
I love Britney's hair. She looked beautiful.
She had a solo confessional.
Oh, that dress. It was like a face on it or something. Yeah.
That blunt haircut on her. I was just like, she looks so good.
Her hair looked really pretty there.
She looks like Greek or something. There's she just like certain colors and tones really bring out her skin tone. I'm just like, wow.
I love that. But because I think Meredith, you probably wrote, because I think she went as far as to say exactly that. I feel like was that it was kind of a limit to her apology of.
She said this was the wrong time and the wrong place. And Britani actually says, and I didn't care for that, but she says, "I did bring this up to intentionally hurt you."
But she owned it.
I
appreciate that about her.
But I mean, she did bring it up to intentionally hurt her. She was also drunk, so I'm trying to give her a little bit of grace for being drunk. Because how much stuff you don't know that you don't say because you're not drunk. But she did absolutely own it.
I'll point out, and she remembered she did it while she was drunk.
Oh, you know what?
So if Meredith was...
We're going to get to see Britani watch the clips of Meredith and Lisa and her talking about can't keep a man, shitty professional. And she's like, I met with you that same day and apologized. Oh, but that was before you apologized.
You still said it. It's in the same like time frame of like that was so shitty. So like, what, you were enlightened right after you said all that?
For you and me, this was 3 episomes ago. For them, it was probably this
like
is
days.
Wednesday and that was Sunday.
Exactly, days. But it was quite so. My biggest takeaway from the little meeting was, I think Meredith is, again, this is my own opinion, speculation, hypothesis from a viewer standpoint. I get the vibe that she's realizing her game plan is not working, whatever that might be, of not owning whatever this is. And she has to shift. But because she has so much fucking pride, she can't fully come out and apologize, because also that would go against the narrative that she already created. So she can't say, you know what, I did do all that, I'm so sorry. She has to play the fence of like, fuck, how do I do this? Okay.
How do I play both?
I shouldn't have, it was not the right time. So you're not blatantly saying it wasn't the right time for me to scream at you or pull your hair or spill wine on you or whatever. Me to talk to Lisa and confide in my friend, it wasn't the right. And so it's enough for maybe someone like a Britney to go, okay, thank you.
Because Heather would have been like, what are you apologizing for?
Exactly. If Heather was there, she's like, can you be more specific? What
Use
you
more
mean?
words.
Or she'd be like, so you're admitting that you did it?
Right. She would have cut through.
Which I wish Britney kind of would have pushed back and said, okay, so you're admitting that this happened, right?
But she knows Meredith would have got defensive. I'm like, do you want me to apologize or not? Or some bullshit. Yes, it was, there were baby steps being taken.
And I think that's literally what they said at the end.
I do enjoy that Britney gave a good amount of space. Yes. She wasn't immediately, great, I've been waiting.
I know, because I feel like she normally would have. Because
she was listening, she was being receptive, and I do like that part.
Because remember what we were saying about her in the beginning of the season, she's very pick-me. And it's like she knows, she's like, I'm not no pick-me anymore.
You know what I'm realizing? Because you told me they record the confessionals like now.
Yeah.
I mean, how weird is that, watching the clip and then talking about it like it just happened?
Exactly. And I think that's why I would love if I got to ever interview some housewives. I want to ask them, okay, the confessionals that you do after the fact, they lived it, right? Yeah. So say they filmed for 6 months, they've fully lived it. The show is starting to air. Still, everything already happened. And now you're sitting back, finishing up confessionals, knowing everything you've experienced. And there are some things that you probably have to talk about. Like, okay, I have to stop my brain. Yeah. So if you film from, let's say, February, March, April, June, July, August. So February to August, whatever. And now the show's airing
in December.
Right. Yeah. But say you're sitting now in July, and you have to, like, okay, my brain has to physically stop with everything that's happened to this point. And maybe some horrible ass shit has happened already that because you've lived all these 6 months already. That would be so hard for me. Because I would be like, yep, I like Meredith. She did.
Do they keep journals? Or what if, like,
I know, I would forget.
She and her daughter, what if they, like, live together now because they're besties, and she has to be like, oh.
Or you can't reveal too much.
That was so hard.
But you literally have to, like, mentally stop your brain. When they do those, when they're finishing confessionals, they've already lived out through everything. So
but, like, what's that process like? Or maybe after the first season, you go home and you write down notes. You're like, don't forget.
I'm sure they do, because there's a producer behind the camera that's everything that they're saying is based upon. No, but if I said to you, Dom, remember that time we went and had margaritas in March? What did we talk about? In March? I don't know. I remember you would have to have some kind of a process of, like. I'm sure there is, but I would have to imagine, like, you're filming, so there's a memory link of, like, it's like a work day. So I have to imagine that there's a cycle. I'm assuming. I don't know. I mean, I forgot a lot of things anyways. I'd be like, what did we talk about? If it's of significance, I have to imagine there's a part that remembers. And out of their entire life, there's only a few times they're recording for the show. So yeah, okay. Maybe or even if, like, you only record on Tuesdays, Saturdays, or whatever. Yeah, okay. But I would love a behind the scenes. Maybe like a 6 episodes behind the scenes and just show us what it's like. Maybe from the producer's perspective. There's books, but that's about it. I have one. There's 2 of them that are really pictures? Good. No. It's like it's kind of this behind the scenes of the history / No, I want to see, like, how the wives, like, remember. I'm sure that lady probably mentions on that podcast, like, oh, I would do this or I would do that to remember. I don't know. I've never heard anyone talk about that, actually. Yeah, I want to know, because I'm just fascinated. Yeah. Even if I went to my diary, I mean calendar, and flipped and was like, oh, I remember we did that. What did we talk about? Who was I mad at that day? I don't know. Interesting. As a viewer, this is why I watch fiction, because this is stressful. I love That's why I don't watch fiction, because I feel like that's real life.
All right, you guys. Thanks for overanalyzing. Bye.
Bye. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my podcast.
Welcome to Chaos and Antics.
That's actually a cute name, too.
We were going to have that long-ass title. Screaming and streaming.
I know.
Me. I still didn't pay my ticket.
I have not seen anyone on the streets. It makes me wonder if they're not doing that today. It's a great angle of me. Now you ruined it. You can see my hips. There we go. Like this.
Do men have hips?
Yeah, I got thick ones and a big ass. That's the good part. I just need to...
That was so Italian of you. I think the food rejuvenates the coffee in my system.
That said nobody. People usually go to bed after they eat.
It's the alarm to pick my daughter up from school. So, I'm just so happy to be here. Okay, so... People... I'm sorry, it's snowing.